tonight we're going to be talking about carbohydrates and why it's an important fuel source for active athletes. As far as what is a carbohydrate, it is a sugar, and there are different kinds of carbs. There are simple and complex. Simple sugars are composed of one or two sugars, such as glucose, glucose and fructose, glucose and galactose, which is the sugar found in dairy products. And complex carbohydrates, next, are more than three simple sugars attached to one another. The starches that come from plant origins are called starches, and the complex carbohydrates that are found in animal sources is called glycogen. And glycogen is found in both your liver as well as the muscles. They take longer for the body to process, and when you are eating your normal day-to-day foods, you want to be eating complex carbohydrates that are from good whole food sources. We're not talking about donuts and Twinkies. We're talking about whole grain, rice, legumes, beans. These are whole foods that have not just the sugar portion, the complex carbs, but they also have vitamins and minerals and fiber, and are more healthy than the simple crap. Anything white is pretty much not what you're looking for. It's not a healthy option. Next. So how much do we need? In your normal daily intake of foods, you have carbohydrates, you have proteins, and you have fats. As far as an active athlete, you should be having at least 60 to 65% of your daily calories coming from good source carbohydrates. So the amount that you need really is individual in terms of your size, your weight, and of course the activity level. And we're going to get into a little bit more detail about that. So an example of a recreational athlete who trains maybe 3 days a week, 1 to 1.5 hours at a session, they should be having anywhere from 3 to 6 grams per kilogram of body weight in carbohydrates on a daily basis. So as you can see, it depends on the individual. So a 5'2" slight woman is going to be eating or required to eat less carbohydrates than a 6'2", 140-pound
more like 180.
male. So you have to sit down and do a little bit of calculating to see what does that mean for you. We go on to the next page. We get into a more competitive athlete who's training 6, maybe 7 days a week, 2 to 4 hours at a session. They're going to be needing a lot more carbohydrates in order to fuel their muscles, and they are going to be taking in anywhere from 8 to 10 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram. So that could translate to anywhere from 300 to 500 milligrams of carbs per day. And I'll explain a little bit later how you can calculate that and figure out how much you're actually taking in and what does it take to get that into the body. It isn't that hard, but it does take a little bit of planning. What about the off days when you're not training? So if you're taking in 10 grams per kilogram on the day that you're training 2 to 4 hours, do you want to be taking in that many carbs on the day that you have where you're resting? Probably not. It's probably a little bit too much. So you want to take it down. If you're taking in 10 grams on a workout day, down to maybe 7 to 8 grams per kilogram of body weight on an off day. So it does, again, take planning to see what your day is going to be like the next day and know what kind of foods you're going to be wanting to take in and where you're going to get them. You don't want to be on the run, having to grab foods at the local convenience stores. You're not going to find good quality food and complex carbs that are full of nutrients in fast food outlets. Next. So I'm giving an example here of someone who's looking to obtain between 340 to 350 grams of carbs in a day. What would a typical day look like? So breakfast, 1.5 cups of cereal. I'm being very vague because it's really what is right for you. Some people are gluten intolerant, so they're not going to have gluten cereal. Other people are fine with it. So 1.5 cups of cereal and milk. It can be a milk alternative. It doesn't have to be dairy. So it can be soy milk, it can be rice milk, it can be almond milk. But you want the milk to be enriched with calcium. And there's a lot out there.
So you're talking about cereal, but most cereals are usually just all full of sugar, nutritional value.
No. You go
Unless
to
you're
the store.
talking oatmeal.
No, oatmeal's fine. There's dry cereals that you can get that have no sugar added to them. They're sweetened with fruit juice or just with fruit themselves. Yep. So Nature's Path is a good company that has good quality cereals. They have brown rice puffs that don't have any added sugar. They have quinoa puffs. So they're whole grains, and you add fruits and nuts and milk alternatives. Oatmeal is a great example. You want steel cut oats, something that isn't not quick cooking, 2 minutes, you put water in and it's ready. No, you've got to cook it for about 15 to 20 minutes. Oatmeal is a great start to the day, and you can add so much to it. With blueberries and raspberries and nuts, and it can taste really good and be very filling. So I said slice berries, you can add to it. You want to add some juices. Some orange juice first thing in the morning is fine, great for vitamin C, helps the absorption of calcium and iron, so that's a great breakfast. Lunch, sandwich, again, I didn't give you any details on the bread. It can be gluten-free bread, it can be a pita, it can be, whatever you want. You're going to put in lean cuts of protein, so it can be chicken, turkey, tofu, tempeh, whatever you like. Tuna, salmon with the bones, 2 cups of vegetable soup. Okay, if you're making your own soups, take anything that you can find in your fridge. Green leafy vegetables, so spinach and kale and beans and celery and carrots, put it all in. The more vegetables, you want color. Lots of different shapes and sizes and colors in your vegetables. It should be a whole variety of the rainbow. 10 crackers, okay, normal crackers, wheat or rice crackers are fine. Again, some more fruit. Fruits, vegetables should be the mainstay, legumes, lentils, beans, these should be the main foods in your diet. Dinner, some pasta. Again, there's all different types of pasta, from wheat pasta, you want whole wheat. It can be rice pasta, it can be quinoa pasta, it can be whole grain, whatever your choice is. So you never want white pasta or white rice. If you're going to have a carb, make sure on your days of, not the day before competition when you don't want a lot of fiber, then you want it to be full of nutrients with, a sauce, maybe some ground turkey or chicken, some more steamed vegetables, milk alternative, nuts, frozen fruits. So there's plenty to eat, as you can see, lots and lots, and that's 340 to 350 grams. So there's, and I haven't even put in there any ideas what you'd have for snacks, which you do want snacks. Ideally, you want to be snacking and eating every couple of hours. You want to be having something to keep your blood sugar levels nice and steady.
And you have dinner, like pretty big one, right?
You can, but if you would prefer having a bigger meal at lunch, then by all means. As long as you're getting in your, calorie needs, then you can choose. Again, it's personal preference, whatever works for you. I'm just giving you an example of how much food 350 grams looks like. Okay, I'm going to come back to these because I'm going to talk more about the bars and the gels when we get into when we're eating it. So glycogen. We talked a little bit about complex carbohydrates and the storage of sugar in the body, in the liver mostly, and the muscles, is called glycogen. You want to make sure your glycogen stores are at their top level. And you can actually improve your glycogen stores by carb loading. But I'm not going to go into great detail about carb loading, but you actually can improve them over time. What you need to know is that everybody has roughly 90 minutes worth of glycogen storage in the body for exercise. So if you go out and do an hour and a half workout, you don't have to take in any extra carbs if you don't want to. It's not a good idea, but you don't have to. Your body will be fine with it. Anything beyond 90 minutes, you've used up your glycogen stores. So the point is that you don't have to carb load if your workout is only 90 minutes. And I'm not minimizing, 90 minutes is a long time. But you don't have to worry about carb loading the day before if your workout is only 90 minutes or less. Next. So what happens if you don't have enough glycogen is that glycogen that's in the muscles and in the liver, as you're exercising, it starts to, if the blood sugar levels start to go down, your body will then call upon the glycogen stores from your liver and your muscles to break down the glycogen into glucose so that you can use it for energy. If you don't have enough, you're going to run out of steam. And that's what we don't want. So that's why even if your workout is only an hour or up to an hour and a half, and you don't need to take in carbs, you should. And you should start taking in drinks and gels and whatever right from the beginning. And the reason for that is you want to spare your glycogen stores that are in your muscles and in your liver so that you don't ever reach the point of exhaustion. Okay, next. Okay, so that's what I was just saying, that even though you have up to 90 minutes, you don't want to deplete it. And the things that can deplete it and change the whole values of what's going on in your bloodstream has to do with stress levels of, the day, the humidity, the cold, wind, anything that goes on can change how much energy your body's going to expend on that particular day or moment. And you want to make sure that you're not depleting the body more than what it has available. And that's why you want to keep on right from the beginning, starting right away, taking in glucose and sugar. So how do you know if you're starting to deplete your glycogen stores and your blood glucose is starting to go down? Have you ever felt hungry when you're exercising? Have you ever felt dizzy, woozy? Have you ever started to get a headache? These are all signs of blood sugar levels going down below what is a comfortable level for the exercising or for the normal body. Hitting the wall is when you've exhausted not only the blood sugar, but you've also exhausted the stores in your liver and your muscles. And you've got nothing else to call upon or to draw upon. It's not a good feeling. Hopefully none of you will ever feel it, because once you hit the wall, you're done. There's nothing else you can do. Your day is gone, because it takes time to bring the blood sugar levels up, and you will not be getting any more glycogen into those storage factories in your liver and your muscles after a couple of minutes. It takes time. So it actually is dangerous to get to the point of too low blood sugar, because that's when people pass out. You've seen people at finish lines, they just are gone. It's an emergency, because it can lead to coma, it can lead to seizures, it can lead to a whole slew of dangerous medical issues that you don't want to ever experience. So we're going to talk about how to not experience any of this. Next. So you can have chronic low glycogen levels. So in other words, you're exercising, you're working out, you're constantly, working out either 5, 6, whatever days a week, and you're never getting enough glucose, you're never building your glycogen stores enough. And how that happens is you're chronically feeling fatigued. You never feel that after you wake up, after 7, 8 hours sleep, you never feel refreshed. You go and do your workouts and you're not getting faster, you're not getting stronger, you're always feeling depleted. That's a good indication that you're not getting enough glucose, you're not eating enough on a day-to-day basis in order to build up those glycogen stores. Not a good thing to do when you're training for an event. Next. So how can we avoid all this? Let's talk about what we're going to eat. It really makes a difference when you eat as well as what you eat. You need to determine, and only you can know your own body, when you should be eating before a workout or before a race. Some people can eat right up until the event or before they go and do a workout. Other people need to give their body a chance, 2, 3, or even 4 hours before in order to digest the food to make it useful for them. You have to determine what's that for you. What I can tell you is you should be eating anywhere from 1 to 4 grams per kilogram of body weight of complex carbohydrates before that workout or before the race. And I've got some handout here where I'm giving these numbers to you. So if you want to, yeah, if you want to pass them around, maybe you can make notes on them. It's fine too. If you need pens.
So just when you talk about, when to eat, eating before and the hours, what about people who can't eat before races? And I ask this question, it's a little different because I've just started doing the biking, so a lot of stuff I've done, I find it really hard to eat before a race. But with biking, oh my God, it's complete different. Like if I don't have the carbs,
Yeah.
like that's a complete different thing. So what about that? Like,
Again, you're gonna have to play around with.
so that's where everybody truly is different.
Everybody's different, yeah. Some people can, go and do a triathlon, and on the way down to water, they're eating gels and bars and whatever.
Okay.
Other people wake up in the morning, they eat their breakfast, and that's it. They can't have anything else because their stomach is turning over and it doesn't work for them. So what they've eaten the night before and for breakfast is what's gonna get them through the swim, and then they eat when they get out of the water. So it really, you have
So
to
you gotta
work
play
it.
with it and
You
figure
have to
it
see
out.
what works best for you.
Okay.
Maybe you can take sips of fluid before a workout. The research has shown that sometimes even just taking a swish of a drink, like a Enduro or whatever you're drinking, and swish it around in the mouth and then spit it out,
Yeah.
it tricks your body into thinking that you've actually
Yeah.
eaten it, and then it gives you that pickup.
Yeah.
So see what works for you. But you do want to be eating a substantial amount leading up to your workout or your event so that you are topping up your glucose, your blood glucose, you're also topping up your glycogen. So pre-exercise examples. Okay, very similar to what we talked about before. During pre-exercise, this is not a good time for high fiber. Okay, so here is when it's okay to have white rice or, the pastas that are not full of fiber because you don't want to be in the porta potties. So if it's for breakfast, again, we can have some cereals, some skim milk or alternative and some orange juice. Pancakes can be white flour, it's fine. You can put some syrup on it. So here we want some simple sugars. We want to get those levels of blood sugar up before you're going to be exercising intensively, and you're going to need that sugar. You can have bagel with some peanut butter, so we're adding a little bit of carbs, a little bit of protein and a little bit of fat, which is fine. It slows the digestion down just a little bit, but it gives you a bit of protein, and if your body can handle it, then it's fine. Again, I'm giving some examples of how many grams of carbohydrate in each of these little meals. Okay, next. More examples, so if it's midday or evening, then you can have more substantial, protein sandwiches, pastas, salads. Again, it's individual. Some people can't possibly think about having a bowl of pasta and some salad and then going and working out, even if it's a couple hours later. It really, I can't say. Depends on you. Okay, next. So the research has shown that eating protein with your carbohydrate can be good because it does slow the digestion down just a little bit. It helps to maintain the blood glucose levels a little bit more. So check and see what your digestive system can handle. There's nothing wrong with having a sandwich with turkey or peanut butter or having some almond milk or yogurt if that's something that you are desiring. Next. All right, so what about while you're exercising? Very, very important. When you're exercising, right from the get-go, you should be starting to take in fluids. You should start to be taking in either gels or gummies or sandwiches, whatever works best for you, you should be taking in food right from the beginning. And you want to have things that are easy to digest, works best for you. Everybody is different. And there's probably, back to those slides, but I just have some examples here. I'm not endorsing any of these products. It's what I had on hand, but some examples. These are a couple of different gels that have different carbohydrate sources. So this one, which is made by Cliff, the carbohydrate sugar source is from a rice protein, rice syrup. Yeah, brown rice syrup. It goes down very well for me, and they have some nice flavors, and it works great as far as I'm concerned, but some people may say otherwise. This by Vega is figs.
That one's great, I just tried using those because I haven't been able to use any gels. That one's pretty good. That one.
Dates, sorry, dates.
Yeah, I eat dates.
Okay,
That
so
one's pretty
dates.
good, I like that.
So both of these are great because they are very nutritious sources of carbohydrate. As far as being processed, they're minimally processed and they go down quite easily. They don't have any additives and preservatives and are, as far as carbohydrate sources, each package, this one provides 100 calories and 24 grams of carbs. This one, for the whole thing, this one provides 22 grams of carbs and also 100 calories. So we're going to talk in a minute about how many carbohydrates, how many grams of carbs you should be having per hour.
Judy, is there anything when you're looking at that, so we're looking at the carbs, what about the sugars are per gram in there? So you don't care
24
about
grams.
that?
This
So you
is
don't care.
24, no, this is 22.
So you just want it high in carbs?
When you take in a gel, it's a very concentrated form of sugar. You need to drink water with it, okay? It can upset your stomach if you take in something that's too concentrated too quickly. So again, it's personal. Some people can down the whole, packet and then drink some fluid and they're good to go. Other people have to have little bits at a time, but just know that when you take in some of the gel, take a sip of water so that it dilutes a little bit. It also helps to get into the bloodstream and digest it easier. Okay, so I can pass these around if anybody has not seen them or if you want to read it. Other examples, Cliff also has these blocks. It's like a gummy gel. They're chewy. They, as far as I'm concerned, stick to your teeth.
It's a different one.
I find them a little bit annoying because they stick to my teeth. I'm constantly trying to figure out how to get them out. But they're tasty, they're different. Sometimes you just need variety. And, they're quite tasty. Each one has, this whole packet, tells 3 pieces has 24 grams of carbs. So it's the same as one gel. So that means each piece has 8 grams. So if you're into...
Got it upside down.
Sorry. These are actually, I find them good afterwards. You're getting, going back to the car, whatever, you want to get something in. Sugar-wise, something a bit different, then it's...
Not so great in the winter because they get so hard you can't chew them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If
They have to
go
suck
hard
them.
with their
You gotta suck them.
Yeah. Gels are a bit better in the winter.
Yeah.
All right. So that's for while you're exercising. Let's go to powders. When you are hydrating, which you need to hydrate right from the get-go, you can be drinking water or you can be drinking some type of a carbohydrate electrolyte mixture. I recommend carbohydrate electrolyte mixture as opposed to drinking just plain water because you need the electrolytes. You're going to be sweating, most people do. You're going to be losing the electrolytes. So you want to make sure that you're replenishing. Some people have problems with cramping. Some people have issues of dehydration because they don't get enough. So again, I'm not endorsing this. I'm just showing it because it's what I use. I've got it in stock. I bought this one for David because it had some nutrients in it, the taurine amino acid that he needs. And it's gluten-free and he needs it. It's really good because he does a lot of cramping. He's a problem with cramping. But what the benefit of both of these is that it's more than one sugar source. So I was telling you before that you want something that doesn't have just glucose or just fructose. This has fructose and maltodextrin. This one has, I'd have to read it again, but I know that it has more than one sugar source. The body needs to have a combination of more than just one. They each have benefits in the body, and you want to make sure that you are getting. If your source only has one form, you can add another source. If you've ever seen this one, it's called Fly. It's maltodextrin. It's a powder, and it has no taste to it. It's purely carbohydrate. So all you do is you add it to your made-up mixture, and you've just increased that carbohydrate immensely. So it can be a really big plus in a very long workout where you're doing a lot of sweating, you need a lot of carbs, you don't feel like chewing on a sandwich or a bar or whatever, then you know at least you're getting the carbohydrate sources.
Does that count as part of your grams that you're gonna have per day?
Yeah.
So it does?
Yep.
Okay, and how do these relate to branched amino acids? Completely different?
Well, that's branched amino acids, that's protein. This is just maltodextrin, and each scoop has
165 calories.
30 grams.
Yeah.
30 grams
serving.
for 1.5
1.5
scoops.
scoops.
1.5 scoops has 30 grams, and that's a very important number, remember it. 30 grams. This one scoop has, I think, 29, pretty much the same. None of these have branched chain amino acids in them. That's a different product altogether.
Okay.
And you don't need branched chain amino acids while you're working out. You want it before, you want it after, and that's a different talk.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're going along, you're on a long ride, or you're doing your run, chances are you're getting sick and tired of gels, you're getting sick and tired of the gummies that are getting stuck in your teeth, you want something to munch on and you know, something of substance, you can always munch on a bar. So again, different protein sources, different carbs. This is a Cliff Bar. It has it's made of soy. You can handle soy. Tastes good. It's got lots of carbs in it. Okay. Yes, it's made of soy. This one, gluten-free. It's mostly nuts, but it also has dates. It has nuts. It has seeds. It has honey. It's quite nice. It's very easy to digest, as far as I'm concerned. Depends on whether or not, if you're nut sensitive, then
That one doesn't upset your stomach?
no, it actually is really nice. I'll pass it around. I don't know that this, if anybody's seen this, this is a meal bar,
I've seen them.
but Vega has a lot of different snack bars. They have meal bars, they have sport bars. See what works best for you. They have different flavors. They're tasty, they're good, and if
The
you
only
feel like
problem with Vega is they've gone to a chocolate coating on them, so.
It does
if you buy them
melt in
your
the
pocket,
sun.
They will melt.
yeah, so if you want to read the details on those.
These I know, these I use.
There are other things that you can be taking with you on your long rides or your long runs. If you don't want any of the prepackaged things, some people want to make their own. And I'm all for that, because now you know exactly what's in it. There's no additives and preservatives. And if you've ever seen
I've had these.
this book, it's a really good source for portable foods that you can make in a hotel room, if that's where you are. And it's made for athletes, made with athletes in mind. The chefs, I can't even pronounce, Thomas and Lim, that's their last names I can't pronounce. They are people who traveled with Olympic teams and elite athletes, amongst others, cooked for them while they were training and doing triathlons and ultra marathons and all sorts of different sports, and came up with these great recipes that you can make, like I said, on the run, in a hotel room, package it up, put it in your back pocket, and they're healthy and
Give them
quite.
examples what we use.
Sorry?
Give them examples, the rice cakes that we did.
Yeah, so some of the things that we used a lot last year in our training, these are rice cakes.
Yeah.
And all it is they use colarosa rice, which is a white rice, but it's a very small little grain, cooks up really quickly. And the benefit to this type of rice, and I found it at long with the colarosa rice, is that it's sticky. So what you add to it, some cut up apples, some cinnamon, a little bit of sea salt,
Almonds, almond butter.
not in this recipe.
Oh, but there was, yeah, we did some of it.
Yeah, there was one that had peanut butter and jam or whatever in the middle. And then all you do is you cut it into, you make a Pyrex dish, cut it up into 15, and it tells you each one how many grams of carbs it is. So you can still know exactly what you're getting.
What's that rice called?
Colarosa, or Colarose. So we found that to be really helpful because, believe me, after a while of being out on the road for 6-7 hours, you don't want.
Jam.
And what
Yeah,
you wrap it
gel.
in, just saran wrap?
I used a wax paper and then tin foil. So the wax paper made it so it didn't stick,
There, yeah.
and it was just
The tin foil
really
kept it
easy.
from going everywhere.
Yeah.
They're
really
still
easy.
messy when you're on the bike and you're riding them.
But you don't care, you just
you
take
don't
it out
care.
and
Yeah.
shove it in your mouth and,
Friends.
yeah. But they've got some really good,
Yeah, we experimented with quinoa pancakes, with almond butter, we tried everything to go natural. Because we just got tired of the bars.
yeah, I
after a
can't stand the
while.
bars anymore, I just had enough of them. Yeah. Okay, getting back to our topic. So, how much do you need? Remember I told you to remember that number 30? So it is recommended that you be taking in a minimum of 30 grams and up to 60 grams of glucose for every hour. So we now know that those gels, one packet has between 22 and 24. That's not enough. So you're going to have your gel, you're going to have maybe a bite of a bar, you're going to have some of your drink. You want to make sure you're getting at least 30, and they're saying probably more than 60 in a lot of cases is what you need per hour. It also depends on the day, how intense you're working, how hot it is, how much you're expending in your energy, how much you're depleting your body. So minimum is 30. So that's like the magic number you want to make sure that you're taking in. And that's why you have to be prepared. Before you do your exercise, you want to know that you have, if you're going to be exercising for 4 hours, do you have 120 grams of carbs with you in order to sustain the blood sugar? And if you don't, then you're going to feel it. If not during that workout period, you're going to feel it that night, you're going to feel it the next day, because you're going to start depleting your glycogen stores and you're always going to be catching up. And you don't want that to happen. You want to stay on top of it. When you finish your workout, you should be feeling good. Okay? Or after you finish, after you've replenished, you should be feeling good that you have replenished yourself.
So, if you take 14 hours, 30, 12 hours of Ironman times
That's
50 average, so
That's
it gets like 600, 700 grams of carbs
That's right.
you consume,
Yep.
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So you can't
That's why
carry
you're-
that many, right?
That's why you're having things that are different, you know? You don't want always the same. You're just gonna get so tired of having gels or so tired of having just your drink. You know, you could be having bananas. You could be, some people on an Ironman have
Sandwiches.
pretzels and sandwiches
Sandwiches,
and
yeah.
potatoes.
Yeah.
They hand out things on the side as well that you can take in. But if you want to know what you're getting, then make your own, and there's bags that they can give you. It's called
Yeah.
the emergency
Yeah.
station,
Oh,
there's a name for the station. So halfway through the bicycle ride, you can ask.
It's a bike special needs.
Special needs.
Yeah, you can pack, you don't have to carry everything, you pack it in your special needs and you pick it
That's
up
right.
halfway through.
So you've used up half of your carb, your sandwiches and whatever, you pick it up halfway through, and now you can replenish and you're ready to go until it's time for the run.
But where do you carry that much if, let's say?
There's enough room, believe me.
On,
You've got, you've got all your
Haven't
pockets
you seen
back
the
here.
bikes with the little baskets in the front?
Two.
But we wanna know
Just
where
in a way,
does
yeah.
it go?
One in the back.
Where does it go? You've eaten all that, where's it going?
You're spinning it.
You're burning it.
You're burning it. That's what muscles do.
So we're burning it before we're having to get rid of it.
You're burning it.
That's right, that's why you're not having enough fiber. Right? Some people, do have to make use of the porta potties, but if you have not taken in a lot of fiber, the days before, then you're just gonna burn all the sugars. Yeah, which is what you want. And take in things that your body can use for energy. That's the whole point.
Quickly.
You need energy, yes. So there is enough space in your pockets. You've got your bike little bento boxes. People tape gels on their bars.
I did that, I'll
They
never
put
do that
them,
again.
they shove them in their pants.
Bees like
Yeah,
that too much.
there's lots of opportunity.
That was not a good idea.
Next. And I think we've talked a little bit about the different types of sugars, and we need to have the combination, like I said, of fructose and maltodextrin, or glucose, fructose, and sucrose. As far as your sports beverage is concerned, you want it to be a dilution of 6 to 8%. You don't have to know any more than this is a 6 to 8% solution, this is a 6 to 8% solution. I hate to say it, but Gatorade is, but I would never recommend anybody drink Gatorade for a variety of reasons. I hope I'm not going to be sued for this, but there are colors and additives, paint thinners, petroleum products, fire retardants in those products. And it just slays me to think that anybody would think that that is healthy. In an exercising person who's trying to be healthy, that they should be taking in foods and drinks that contain all this.
I know Powerade got sued, they had to take something out because it was like carcinogenic or
Yes.
something. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't remember
But not in
exactly what it
Canada.
was.
But not, no.
They took it out in the US because there was a big uproar, but that particular additive is still in the Canadian version. But even if they take it out,
The other
they're
stuff
purple and
dies.
green and orange and mauve. Why do you think they're those colors? Because of
Colors.
dye number 5, and I mean, it's just beyond me. So I wouldn't go for those. Go for something else that is more natural. I personally like this one just because it has maltodextrin, it has fructose, it has a high amount of magnesium, which is for me good for the muscles and cramping. There's other nutrients in it. Some people don't like the taste. Some people, the fructose doesn't agree with them. So find one that works for you and use it. But do take in a beverage that has a 6 to 8% dilution. If it has too much of a dilution on 8%, let's say on a day like yesterday, which was freezing cold, you're not going to be drinking an awful lot if you can drink it all because it freezes. You don't need
Put
as
it
much.
under your jacket and then it leaks.
When you're drinking a whole lot more, like a really hot, humid day, then you want it to be less of a dilution because you're going to be drinking a whole lot more. So again, you have to play around with how much you're going to dilute it, how much water you're going to add to the powder, depending on the day. So it's a little bit of trial and error on your part, but you've got to be drinking right from the get-go. Every kilometer of a run, take a sip of something. Your bike ride, every 10 minutes or so, take a sip of something. So
How do you take liquids in when you're running if it makes you cramp?
then you may cramp in here,
Yeah.
then you need to try different ones. whatever you're taking in, it might be not agreeing with your digestive system. Whatever the sugar is in it may not be right, the dilution may not be right, something that's in it is not agreeing with you, and you've got to try something else. Some people put extra electrolytes in their sports drink. Vega actually has a good one that has, the sodium, magnesium, potassium, and just in a scoop. So if you have a tendency to cramp, then that's maybe an idea that you can be toying with and trying out on your training runs and not in a race. Next. What about after? This is a very, very important time for refueling the body. When you finish your exercise, you have to get ready for the next one. And if you don't eat properly and in the right time frame, then you are going to sabotage your next workout. You have a window of 15 to 30 minutes after you finish your exercise, during which time your muscles are like a sponge and they just take in sugar from the bloodstream and package it into glucose for your next time. That sponge-like property wanes as the hours go by. So to make use of it, you want to make sure that within 15 to 30 minutes after finishing, you are taking in some good quality carbs. And I think I could give you some details of how much. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you in a minute. But so, and then within 2 hours. You don't want to wait 2 hours. Okay, so when you finish, you have, most people have within 15 to 30 minutes an opportunity to grab something, whether it be a sports drink, a glass of juice, a piece of a banana, an orange, something in order to start replenishing the glucose. Next. So there's some examples of what you can have. Again, it's personal choice. Whatever works best for you. Just eat or drink something that has a good source of carbohydrate. If you want to add some protein to it, that's fine. Just make sure that you're getting the carbs. Okay, next. So there, somebody asked me about chocolate milk and is it really good? Personal preference. Chocolate milk does have protein, it does have carbs, simple carbs, but if it works for you, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not the only thing that's good for post-exercise.
I love
But,
chocolate milk.
I go those 2 races in the summer just about killed me. Oh my
Really?
God. Oh my God, I was so sick.
Maybe you're lactose intolerant?
No, I think it was too much after.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to find what works best for you.
Fruit's fine.
Yeah.
Or a
Okay.
bagel,
Usually
something like
they
that's fine.
hand out, sometimes bagels, oranges, bananas.
Yeah.
There's usually food at the end of a race. And if it's a workout session, make sure that you've got food in your bag that you can grab right
When
afterwards.
Milton, they were handing out that beer.
Yeah.
The end of the non-alcoholic
Non-alcoholic
beer with folic acid and stuff that's put in it. It's a replenishing
Yeah.
beer. And it's very good, actually.
Okay, Ron.
I bought some.
Next.
In Fort Lauderdale, they give you real.
There you go.
beer.
How many grams do you want? So 1 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight. So it's individual. It's not the same for everybody. So if you are weighing 56 kilograms, you're going to take 56 grams of carbs within 15 to 30 minutes. And that's not hard to do. So you also want to look at what you're doing every 2 hours after the race or after the workout, because your body is still processing the foods, you're still putting glycogen into the muscles, your metabolism has revved up after your workout, and you want to make sure you're refueling. So for the next 6 hours, every 2 hours, you want to be taking in 1 to 1.5 grams of carbs per kilogram of body weight. So an example would be a 150-pound athlete that represents 68 kilograms. They should be taking anywhere from 68 to 102 grams of carbs within 15 to 30 minutes and every 2 hours for 6 hours thereafter. So we're doing a lot of eating as athletes. So make it fun, make it palatable, make it healthy. Next. Some examples. I got this off the internet. Somebody posted it on Facebook and I figured, okay, it looks good, let me try it. And there's a picture of my creation. It was delicious. It has 3 ingredients, I think. Bananas, oats, raisins, and I think some cinnamon. That was it. And you just mash it all together and you put it into the pan and put it in the fridge. And the oats were cooked. But it was delicious. And no simple sugars. It's all complex. It's all natural. And it's something that I'm thinking I could package up in a little container and take with me, you know, on a long workout.
Yeah.
Why not? So, you know, be creative. See what people have posted out there. And if it suits your taste buds, then go for it. Okay. Make use of fruits and vegetables. There's nothing wrong with all the different colors of the rainbow. It's something that you should, you know, make a fruit cup throughout the day. If you're hungry, you need something, a pick-me-up, choose the fruit, choose the vegetables. It's much better for you than even the bars. You know, those are good for, you know, in a pinch,